Brian said something nuanced. The comments will call him a shill anyways. Right. Like when I put out a tweet about the DLC announcement, and I mentioned that I think Tifa will probably end up breaking the 100K player count barrier, and that I'm excited for that they're finally adding new characters, which is all true. But that's not the same thing as saying I'm happy that they added Tifa in order to increase the player count higher. That's just me remarking on what will probably happen as a prediction, and also a commentary on the aspirations of Capcom. Because, you know, there's always a subset of people like, oh, how much is Capcom paying you? The irrelevant content creator from the audience that we do not care about. I just don't understand where people's brains are. I mean, if that was true, we'd be having a lot more glorp shittos in the game. Like, I am genuinely happy about having new characters added to the game. I don't like the format of the teaser. In general, my philosophy is always, you need to keep creating. You cannot rely on nostalgia. Nostalgia is a death spiral and the death of culture. And I think, unfortunately, most of our cultural products globally have become this downward death spiral of nostalgia slop and reference slop and crossover slop. And I think that's definitely a huge problem, because we're not creating new things. And that's what happens once you reach a certain state of growth within any industry. Because now the stakes, the investment is too high, the stakes are too high, and you can no longer afford to take risk, because risk involves the chance of failure, and failure is no longer acceptable when you have millions and millions and millions of dollars at stake, people's jobs and livelihoods. And at that point, you reach cultural stagnation. And we've seen that with things like the movie industry. We've seen the last time people were going to the movies, I mean, COVID was a big part of that, but it was Marvel Endgame, which was the pinnacle of crossover world building, not even world building, but cinematic universe building and character crossover, right? And so the lesson everyone took away from that was, oh, keep building up a cinematic universe and have constant IP crossover and keep referencing the same characters across multiple mediums. And that was the wrong lesson. That was the end of it. That should have been the end. And Marvel fell off like fucking crazy because no one can give a shit anymore. And we're finally seeing with these massive, insane blockbusters that are relying purely on name recognition and nostalgia, that they're done with it. You see with Obsession, $750K budget, making like what, 500 fucking million, and you see it with Backrooms breaking records as well with a much smaller budget. And then the latest Star Wars movie, which is, you know, that franchise has been milked to fucking death after being sold to Disney. No one gives a shit anymore, and going on this spiral death loop of constantly referencing old nostalgia is by far the biggest death trap. With that said, I like when Street Fighter keeps putting in new characters because of that. That to me is incredibly important to push the franchise forward. Would I have preferred having some fan favorite characters in there in the franchise as well? Of course. I think in terms of priority to me, I feel like you need a mix of legacy and new characters to take creative risk and try to actually create something new and see if you can push culture forward and achieve new great heights. And then the lowest tier is crossovers. I think crossovers are the lowest tier of it's just creatively bankrupt, in my opinion. And there's a time and place for it, for references and for making a love letter to a fandom or a character or whatever. There's a time and place for it, but it cannot be the primary source. So I don't mind Tifa being in the game, for example, but that's the limit to me. We already have 3 crossover characters. Like, if they keep going down that path, that to me cheapens the name of Street Fighter, because it's no longer a product pushing culture forward and trying to create new memorable characters for people to connect with. It's relying personally on the creation of other things in the past. It becomes less of itself and more of a product of other cultures. So Tifa to me is fine. People will be happy about it. I don't personally care. But would I want more crossover characters? Would I want this to be, oh, now Street Fighter is a platform like Smash Brothers, and it's going to be a place for gaming characters to fight? I would not like that. There can be a platform for that. I just hope it wouldn't be Street Fighter. My issue with the DLC characters is how they do the teaser. They leave them out to dry. Putting the brand new characters out with this animated teaser character animation without them being in-game engine, without them showing off any of their combat, any of their voice lines, anything, it gives nothing for people to latch onto to have an open mind about it. So I think it's kind of a poor teaser format for these characters. Everyone thought Arjun was Ryu. I thought Arjun was Ryu as well. I said that as well. And then even from the animated intro compared to his DLC photograph in the promo, completely fucking different. He looked like buff Ryu, rugged Ryu, and then you see the actual artwork that they put him in, and the dude looks goofy as fuck in a good way. He's the character I'm most interested in, because you finally see him like, oh shit, this dude is, what's going on? He's inhaling 40 gallons of air right there. Is he about to air dash around? He's about to explode. To me, he's by far the most interesting. So you don't give anything for people to latch onto when you do this format is the problem, I think. Goofy equals interesting. It's something to me, like I always favor more cartoony, less photorealistic characterization. But for example, I liked Abigail, even on release. My opinions are not always that popular. When Abigail was announced at EVO 2017, oh my god, you would have thought Capcom came out and shot everyone's dog personally.
Yeah! Oh my god.
Oh my god, it was so funny. It was so funny. I was there in person when Abigail was released, and that was just a bad timing for Abigail because Street Fighter V had such a horrific launch, and it was really needing to build some momentum and goodwill and get some wind under its sails to carry forward. And at the biggest event of the year, back when they still did character announcements at EVO and integrated with the community and interacted in that sense, they put out the goofy big body character at EVO. Horrible time. Comes out. Vroom, vroom, vroom. But he didn't take off. He released towards the end of season 2, and so he wasn't really taken off competitively till season 3, and he got buffed into season 3. So he was broken as hell in 3.0, and then still pretty broken in 3.5. And then after that, they're like, okay, we got to cut this guy's legs off. But my point being, I like a lot of the OG Street Fighter V characters. I like Abigail. I know a lot of people don't. I like G a lot. I like Minot. I like Zeku. They had a lot of really strong original characters. But what makes them interesting is strong characterization and their gameplay. And the problem with these DLC characters is I feel like they're not given strong characterization in the animated intro. Here they have a lot more personality in this key art, right? Arjun, clearly there's something going on with him. And his animated intro, or the animated teaser, I didn't really feel anything about him. Yasmin, I guess, is Filipina. That's tying into, national representation, so you have some kind of connection there. And then Bosch, I don't know. Bosch is the character I'm least interested in, to be quite honest, but apparently people like him in Japan. He has fans from World Tour. But what could help is gameplay. Show us what they do. Like, they just don't give you anything to go off of from that teaser. And also, of course, everyone's pissed about not having their fan favorites in. It's not a very balanced release of the characters. Tifa's obviously meant to carry the pass, but that's more for external fans of the Street Fighter franchise, because they could have done 2 new characters, Tifa and an OG, and just put another new character in a different season pass. But people are going to be pissed off no matter what. Someone is going to be very unhappy, so I also feel that way. You're never gonna please everybody. Like, everyone's saying that, but that's just the teaser format. When they show the trailers of the character, people might be interested in the character. Capcom has shown that they put a lot of attention to the flair of characters in this game. They often provide extra taunts and weird Easter eggs. Like, they're doing a lot of things that have a lot of flair for more casual fans. And yeah, maybe the characters won't be a hit, but you have to take that risk. Like, Lucia and Falk, I think, were stinkers for Street Fighter V, but I would love G to come back. I think G is one of the sickest characters that have been in Street Fighter in a long time. His gameplay was saucy as all hell, and he's just a funny fucking character. Minot was sick, and as a fan favorite with her design. Zeku was cool. There was a lot of hits, man, and every character you've ever liked in the Street Fighter franchise was a brand new character, was Glorp Shido to somebody else previously. Street Fighter 3 was entirely made of characters that no one fucking liked, and it bombed at first because of that. But now they're fan favorites, and everyone's clamoring for Dudley and Ibuki to be put into Street Fighter 6. They're desperate for it. Kodo as well. Remy be coming back anytime soon, or Necro? No. Probably not. I don't know. Maybe I'll be eating my words next season pass. But my point being, with the new DLC characters, do I feel any particular way about them? Arjun is the one character that has anything intriguing going on because they're giving me something to work with. Okay, he's a big dude from India. He's not blowing fire like Dalsum, but he's blowing air. He's cartoonishly filling his lungs with air to make something happen. There's something unique about him going on. Yasmin and Bosch don't give me nothing to work with, really, until I see them in action and get more out of them. Bosch is the one I'm least interested in because he's had his shot and didn't really make an impact to me. But either way, my point being, you can't really judge them until you see them in a match. Last DLC character of the game is going to be John World Tour. John World Tour is actually going to be the true iteration of Seth, where they just have every fucking character's move. It's going to be the pinnacle of those World Tour abominations that are doing endless combos, but a real character. That would be kind of hype, to be honest. It'd be like in Pokemon Gold and Silver when you fight Trainer Red at the top of the mountain. John World Tour ... Bump 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 bump. God.